Good evening and welcome to this regular meeting of the Planning Board of the City of Birmingham, Wednesday, January 28th, 2026. Can we please call the roll?
Josh Lane.
Present.
Robin Boyle.
Here.
Stuart Jeffries.
Here.
Kurt Kuzic. Daniel Sher.
Here.
Noel Boyce.
Here.
Ryan Williams.
Present.
Duncan Curry.
Here.
Lucy Merman.
All right, we are quorum, and for the record, Mr. Curry is a voting member tonight. Accept. Perfect. Move forward to review and approval of the minutes to the meeting on December 10th of 2025. Mr. Scher.
Yeah, and I apologize for not catching this in the prior set, but the name of the firm we recommended is misspelled. The second name, it's Levine, L-A-V-I-G-N-E.
Yes.
Not L-E-V-I-N-E. And there's a number of places in the minutes where that's
Gotcha.
misspelled.
Good catch. Any other comments or corrections on the minutes from December 10th? Mr. Boyle?
Not the minutes, but the agenda. The agenda has a mistyped address.
For today or for?
Day.
Okay, well, let's finish the
Okay.
minutes of,
I wasn't sure when to do it.
finish the minutes of last meeting.
So I'll move the approval of the minutes of December 10, 2025 as corrected. Support.
Motion, Mr. Scher, support, Mr. Williams. Any conversation at the board level? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion unanimous. Welcome, everybody. Happy New Year for those I haven't seen. Tonight, we've got several items, site plan reviews. There will be an opportunity for the public to participate at the appropriate times. I will call for public input. If you're present and you wish to speak, come forward to the microphones on either side. If you're at home watching on Zoom, you can use the raise your hand function at the center console, and I will call on you, and we'll go from there. Mr. Dupuy, any changes to the agenda outside of Mr. Boyle? You had a comment on the agenda?
I think the address for item J, number 2, says it's 325 North Old Woodward, District Lots, Phase 3. That should be somewhere on Eaton.
I would think so.
Yes, and the change is that we did notice that. That is the version that's on the website now. It just looks like IT pulled the old uncorrected one
Okay.
for this meeting.
So proper notice was given.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Good.
To the right address.
Corrected, fair note, this is just, you happen to pull up the old one.
Okay. Fair enough. Any other changes to the agenda, Mr. Dupuy?
No. Nope.
Fantastic. So you will help us as we get to that item with the correct address, if you would,
Yeah,
please.
yeah, sure.
Let's move forward then. First item, we have a special land use permit and a site plan and design review for 600 North Old Woodward.
Hybrid meeting.
I'm sorry?
Forgot to mention, it's a hybrid meeting.
Yes, though we don't have any, well, I guess we do. It is a hybrid meeting in that we do have some site plan reviews as well as some study session items as we had agreed upon as a board at the end of last year. 600 North Old Woodward. Now, the special land use permit and the site plan and design review are separate approvals. However, they're so intertwined that we listen to them at once. There will be two different conversations and two different motions if anything does move forward. Ms. Blinsky, welcome.
Thanks. Yep, so as Chair Klein just mentioned, this is a site plan review and special land use permit application for 600 North Old Woodward for Suites 101 and 203 for a new pizzeria, Old World Pizzeria. And so I'm going to be pretty brief. Planning Division views this as a super simple swap out basically of different types of food. The reason you're being presented this as a special land use permit application is simply literally because in the O2 zoning district, that's what we require. So typically when you're seeing special land use permit applications, we're usually having on-premise alcohol consumption. They are not. So there's no liquor sales for on-premise or off-premise consumption. It is simply a mostly takeout pizzeria operation, and they're going to have a modest amount of seating, as you can see in the plans. It's 4 tables with 4 chairs and then 4, seat, a bench along the wall that could give you 4 seats there. And so, you may or may not know, this is the place of the former Cafe Succo spot. So Cafe Succo was also a sit-down, basically like a juice bar, kind of. They had food there too, and they had more seating actually inside than this. And they also didn't have liquor consumption, and they also operated under a special land use permit when they were there. Something that's not noted in the plans, but I just kind of anticipate questions about, because I did say in the packet, there's no outdoor seats proposed at this time. You may wonder about the outdoor area that is there currently. I'm sure the applicant can speak to that, and they'll correct me if I'm wrong. My understanding is that's actually common to the building, so we're not expecting that to change as it's been, although I'm sure people will eat pizza there. The other thing I anticipate you guys being interested in is just about the trash takeout situation. I asked the applicant, and they did say that the lease provides for privileges at the shared dumpster on site in the back of the building. And then other than that, everything else that we normally would cover, there are no changes. They're not proposing any changes to the exterior of the building at all at this time. And so with that, we are recommending approval with no qualifications. They meet the standards.
Any questions, Mr. Chair?
Do we approve the signage? 'Cause I don't remember seeing in this package there, how their signage is going to work.
Yeah, so typically no. Sometimes there is signage in when you get a special land use permit application. Sometimes signage is included, and they have the opportunity to get that approved. I would say 99% of the time, whether they get signage approved or not, end up doing later signage applications administratively, and that's the typical way of doing signage. So like I anticipate when they do propose signage, they're going to have to follow that normal process, which is administrative approval application and then permits.
And with the special land use permit, do we have any jurisdiction over the interior?
It's
Let
like
me-
yes, so long as you base it on those requirements that I can pull up for you in Article 7, they have to be based on those.
Okay.
They
So
can't be arbitrary.
my question is, the only thing I saw showing what the tables would be like potentially was on page 28, which isn't necessarily what they're planning on doing. But it struck me that they look a little bit, what's the word? Vulnerable to overuse. They didn't look particularly sturdy. So, but I don't know if
think
that's
it's
what they're planning on
conceptual,
doing.
They can probably speak a little more about that.
Yeah, I didn't ask questions or get into that with the applicant.
Okay, well, we can certainly ask them about it when they
Sure.
come up. Any other questions from Ms. Blinsky? No?
No.
The applicant is here. If they would like to come forward and perhaps give us a quick rundown of their proposal, and they heard Mr. Shear's question, maybe jump into that as well. If you could introduce yourself, please, and let
I'm
us.
Cyrus Garmo. I'm the applicant for this project here.
Wonderful.
So to your comment, this is just a 3D rendering. That's not the tables that we'll be having in there or the chairs. The 3D rendering was difficult to pull up for the actual table. So it's going to be similar in color, more of a rectangular shape, and just a sturdy chair on the other side.
Well, I guess that's my one concern is, I'm not bothered by what the color is or anything like that. I just want to make sure that they're going to stand up to whatever normal use you would expect out of
Absolutely.
this kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, okay.
What sort of materials will they be? Metal?
Metal. Table will be metal. I think the chair will be metal and wood combo.
I think for the record, we do typically see those sort of things. But Can you explain a little bit about the concept, and is this a chain of some sort, or
Yeah.
just kind of help us?
If you want, I can flip through these slides. I don't know who has access to it, but I put something a little brief together just to kind of show where it started and where we're at. You can go to the actual beginning of it.
Okay.
A few more.
There we go. So Old World Pizzeria is, right now it's a make-from-scratch pizzeria. There's currently one location in the Saginaw area of Michigan. If you go to the next slide, we're teaming up with the chef. We want to bring this concept of, make-from-scratch dough, house recipes, a consistent guest experience, and make it a family-friendly destination for these foods. And if you go through, I think I have some images in there as, we can pass that, I think we already know. The existing space currently as it is, and then the next slide, there you go. That's the current location, which we have revamped. Next slide. 20-inch whole New York style pies. Next slide. Real fermented dough, everything's 72 hours fermented. We try to stick to local Michigan brands to support the community as well. So that's kind of the preliminary, then it leads into the plans, which we kind of went over a little bit.
Okay. Any other questions for the applicant?
Just a
Ms.
question, comment really more. Just since you're new to Birmingham with this business, so I noticed in your photos from your other operation that you have a lot of signage in your windows and neon and that sort of thing. We have some pretty strict rules about that, so before you buy anything, you might want to check with the planning
Absolutely.
department about that. We've had people that are new to us spend a lot of money on window decoration that wasn't permitted, so
We'll definitely stay in communication through the process.
thanks.
Okay. Mr.
Just a
Bullock?
quick question about the outdoor space, which is quite significant. It's, it's
Correct.
right on the corner there, right beside the market when it comes in May and runs through till October. What plans do you have for that, and how much can you do regarding the co-use of the space by other tenants?
Yeah, so speaking with the landlord, it's a common area for the building. So they plan to just, I believe they had like a couple chairs and tables out there. I think they were two tops. I believe that that's going to be the same thing over there, but it's not unique to our purpose. So whoever wants to walk by and sit there is free to do so.
So that raises the question of who maintains it, who puts the trash away and keeps it clean?
The landlord.
Landlord does?
Yeah.
Great space. As a resident walking by there a lot, it's a great space. Underused, to be dead blunt. It didn't have umbrellas, so the tables, in the summer got real hot. So if there's any leverage here, there's a little opportunity to encourage the owner to work with him and work with you and other tenants on activating the space, I think would be a good thing. Particularly on a Sunday morning. If you could do a breakfast pizza on a Sunday morning, you could retire on that, I'll tell you.
Okay. I'll definitely, I'll work on that. Yeah, I'll get on top of that.
Thank you.
Any other questions for the applicant? All right. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, guys.
To the public, we'll open it for the public. Is there anyone from the public who would care to comment on this particular presentation? If you do, please come forward to either microphone. Introduce yourself and provide your brief comments. If you're online, again, if you wish to use the raise your hand function, I can call on you when your time has come. That sounded ominous.
Good evening.
Sir.
My name's Rob Kamenak. I live at 612 Brookside, right across the parking lot. So I had a few questions and also a few concerns, whether it be for this body or another body of the city. Background. We moved in 2013. Noise has become a huge problem for anybody on Brookside, anybody on Park Street. We're on the corner of Brookside and Park. We understood when we moved in that there was going to be some background noise from Woodward and Old Woodward, but things have, and I'm sure you've already heard all these stories about, I still call it Hunter because I grew up in Birmingham, but that it's turned into a racetrack. any additional noise is a problem for us. It carries right over the parking lot. So with that background, and just so you have an understanding of the concerns, is there any idea of the hours for this establishment? And I didn't see it in the packet, so I apologize if it's there.
Did you have any other comment? And then we'll make sure we
Oh,
get
I'm
them
sorry.
addressed.
Well,
Yeah, please finish up your comments, and
Okay, so I had that.
we'll try and address them.
So, hours.
Yes.
And number one. Number two, is there going to be any additional lighting outside? It sounds like not, but I'd like to find that out. The third thing is just, and you can educate me, this is not my area of law, but I went through the Article 7, Section 7.36, and it sounds like it's just, if I may, just repetitive. The use is consistent with the public health, safety, and welfare of the city. All I see is from the establishment that they've just repeated those words. I don't see anything that's descriptive of that. And as you can tell from where I'm going on this, I am concerned about the welfare. The welfare of the citizens that live right there, the noise and everything else. Traffic, whether or not we're going to have parking lot 6 used more than it's normally at night. Right now, when they pick up the trash in any event, it's oftentimes at 6 in the morning. They have to pick up the trash more because of this establishment. The prior establishment was not open at night. I'm pretty sure it closed in the afternoon. So those are concerns we have. We live with this every single day, a lot worse in the summer. And and again, a little more background and then I'll sit down. I grew up at 1800 East Lincoln, Birmingham, Michigan. I had an MI phone number. That's how old I am. And we've owned, 5 houses in Birmingham. I went to Brother Rice, holy name, the Hoshat. So we're longtime citizens. We love it here. And we want to cooperate. We know business is important. But there's got to be a balance between business and what we put up with, if I can call it that, as residential. And again, we hear everything, especially when Judd Hart comes through and cleans out the foliage. So those are my questions, and those are my concerns.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anyone else from the public here to comment? If you're online, you can use the raise your hand function. I see no one standing up. I see no other comments. We'll bring it back to the board. So Ms. Blinsky, just real quickly, I did not see any additional lighting on the outside of the building. Is that your understanding of the site plan as well?
Yes, they haven't proposed
Okay.
any additional lighting
So
at
there'll be
this time.
no changes to the outside is what you're telling me?
Not in this proposal.
Is this, I believe your report identified it, but this location is within what was referred to as the former parking assessment district?
Correct.
So therefore, no property in this area is required to provide their own parking?
They
It
are
is-
required to provide no parking.
Okay,
So,
Hours.
thank you. Is the applicant, could you come forward and talk to us a little bit about your hours of operation? And having heard the concerns of a resident and a neighbor, it's been our experience, and you've got some other talented people in the room here that know this for sure, that it's all about management of the facility and making sure that you're there for your neighbors and keeping things clean. And, I heard you talk about the landlord will clean up the outside. Frankly, that's not good enough. Your people will be cleaning up the outside as it relates to your store, as far as I'm concerned. Could you talk a bit about your hours and how you plan to interact with the
For
neighborhood?
sure. So we have prep time, which is not open to when customers can come in. That'll be before the hours of 11 a.m. That's all indoors, all contained within the space that we're leasing. Normal business hours would open from 11 a.m. till about 10 p.m.
Okay.
In terms of outside lighting, we're not proposing any outside lighting, and we don't forecast to have any outside lighting. Outside of parking, it's more of a slice shop, as you can see, so we would have a walkable community, but I don't anticipate anything more than what Birmingham already has to offer for a community. Outside of, for evening hours, we're anticipating to close on weekdays at 10 o'clock, and we don't serve alcohol, so we're not going to be open till 2 in the morning or things like that. But on probably Fridays and Saturdays, we may be open till midnight.
Okay.
But I don't anticipate to have, people outside and things like that. It would be more grab and go.
And you've only got 8 seats inside, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
All right, let's bring it back to the board. Any conversation at a board level? We've heard some concerns from the public, but also heard some answers from staff and from the applicant. Anybody wish to?
Oh.
Ms. Boyce?
I'll make a motion. I guess I'll start with the special land use.
Sure.
Let's see, I'll move to adopt the findings of the Planning Department and the report dated January 28th, 2026, related to the approval criteria outlined in Article 7, Section 7.36 of the zoning ordinance, and recommend that the City Commission approve the special land use permit application for 600 North Old Woodward, Suites 101 and 203 Old World Pizza.
Motion, Ms. Boyce. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Curry. Conversation at a board level. To the public on the motion for the special land use permit, any conversation on the motion itself? See no hands going up, so we'll bring it back to the board. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion unanimous. So now we need a motion on the final site plan and design review.
I'll do it
Okay.
here. Okay, I will move to adopt the findings of the Planning Department in the report dated January 28th, 2026, related to the approval criteria outlined in Article 7, Section 7.27 of the zoning ordinance, and recommend that the City Commission approve the final site plan and design review application for 600 North Old Woodward, Suites 101 and 203 Old World Pizzeria.
Motion, Ms. Boyce. Do we have a second?
Support.
Support, Mr. Williams. Conversation at a board level?
Just would note that
Mr. Chair?
the city does have a code enforcement department, and if the operation is too noisy or too messy in the back particularly, or if there are problems with the trash, I'd encourage you to speak both to the owner and to the people in the planning department, the code enforcement department. We have a pretty good track record of getting businesses to modify their operations to avoid excessive noise and trash.
And I'll just add on, it goes to the management of the building as well. I mean, you've got neighbors, be good to them, and they're going to be good to you. I can already see that you can have a Brookside coupon that work wonders. So with that, any conversation at the public level on the motion for the final site plan? Seeing none, we'll bring it back. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion unanimous. Good luck to you, sir. All right, let's move forward with our next item, which is Old Friend. District Law Phase 3, which is somewhere on Eaton Street.
325.
325 South Eaton Street.
Ah.
Is the address we're
Ah,
looking at
here,
right now.
got it.
Right here, it's on the
Woodward
memo.
would just be weird, just be weird. So next, are you ready to rock and roll?
Please, sir.
I'm pretty
Take us
ready.
away.
So, first and foremost, this is a repeat project. We last saw this in almost exactly 4 years ago, in 2020-21, where you guys issued a final site plan approval with several conditions, 6 or 7, maybe 8, all pretty standard conditions. It is still the same new 4-story mixed-use building, retail commercial first floor with a few residences, and then residential all above. Generally speaking, it seems to me, as it's been explained to me, the way that I would explain it to you is almost as soon as they got that approval during that year, they put the whole thing on ice. As in nothing changed since you last saw it. We combed through, there are some new things that we maybe should have spotted or discussed last time, or maybe we changed our minds that we've called out here, and then some things that have changed that are frankly outside of their control that we need to update as a part of this plan. I'll stop at those sections, but just as a general theme, know that for the most part, everything's the same. The first thing that we need to know about, which was the same as the first go-around, there are a couple of units that are not as detailed as the others. The first floor units and a few on each floor. We need room layouts so that we can fully determine the parking ratios, but based on our assumptions, everything works. So I don't expect it to be an issue, but it'll be an approval condition, just like it was in 2021. Dumpster's still the same. They're going to use this dumpster here, if you can see my mouse. That's existing and screened, and works just well for now. So they're going to continue to use that. There's really no new parking lot as a part of this development, but everything else on the development is screened appropriately. They're going to have all their mechanical units screened, both the rooftop and those on the side. As usual, they don't quite have their transformer units picked out yet, but they will. And when they do, we'll expect them to furnish those to us so we can confirm that all the screening's okay. Landscaping, another thing that's generally not required on commercial properties, really anywhere, but especially in the MX. But as usual, it's nice to see plentiful landscaping on a site anyways, even though it's not required. We've run through the planting list. There's nothing on prohibited species list. As we move forward with the city, our sustainability goals, you might have noticed that we did mention it'd be cool if they transitioned some or all of it to more native type species based on the goals of our Birmingham Green Healthy Climate Plan. It is a suggestion. I have no sticks. I know the applicant does like to work with the city though, so we thought we'd throw it out. The biggest change here, as I alluded to earlier, is the streetscape. The theme here is that the plans as they submitted do show a sidewalk here. Back in 2021, we were needing to discuss easements and things, public access easements. We have since learned that as a part of the Eaton Road redesign, that whole curb is bumping out 5 or 6 feet. So in speaking with engineering, that extra 5 or 6 feet allows us to accommodate all of the public right-of-way amenities, sidewalk, green space, trees, lights, on our property.
I wanted to clarify that for those watching at home. You say bump out. I think it would be important to state that whether Eaton is shrinking, or whether the curb is going away from the building. Just help the public understand. I think I know what you mean.
I think it's just a lateral shift west. If it may shrink a little bit, but it is not a road diet, if you will.
Okay.
There will not be bike lanes in that particular section.
But the space between the property line for this project and the curb line of Eaton will expand.
Will expand, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, yep. So it's not reflected on these plans, because as I mentioned, they've been on ice for 4 years. But it would be nice to reflect that change in these plans so that we're all on the same page with the Eaton Road redesign. All the elements they do show now, which we would expect and fully do, that they would continue those. They've got 2 benches out there, bike racks out there, 4 trees, which is enough. You'll notice in the department comments that the Department of Public Services would like to work with them on the species, but both ginkgos, so that all works for us. And we note here that when it comes time to confirm that they selected the right streetscape elements, we'll do so in the permit process, like we usually do. And I usually use the word unfortunately when I talk about parking, but unfortunately parking is the most complicated section here. If I may just say, after all the calculations you read through, all the special MX stuff with the Florida area ratios, they're plenty fine. They have 20 more spaces than they need based on the uses they have on site. To give them credit, they've been designing this as a campus ever since they started. They've got a parking structure there. They've accommodated it from the beginning. So we're not overly surprised that they're still 20 spaces over, but they are. So all that to say, once we confirm the room counts, we'll iron out these numbers. We're very confident that they'll be just fine on parking. Yes?
Mr. Williams.
Who's the applicant? You don't say.
Kelly Development.
And is that the same as 4 years ago?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Same owners?
Yeah.
Okay.
Same architects even. How about that?
Well, I think we had senior the last time.
Fair enough.
Unimproved.
So we do mention here, because maybe you wouldn't be surprised, but a lot of people are surprised that when they try to move a bunch of salons or restaurants in, that it blows up the parking requirements.
Yeah.
These guys have been around, but it's still worth saying. There's only 20 spaces over, and you can really mess that up real quick if you start doing restaurants and hair salons. So publicly, they know that, we know that, we'll make it work. Loading is,
Let me
sorry.
just stop, just again,
Sure.
for the public, when you say they know, we know, we'll make it work, I mean, they don't get to go, they don't get to do a use that requires parking they don't have, correct?
That's correct,
Yeah.
without any variances or,
Right, so nobody
like
should
that.
be concerned that we'll make it work means don't worry, whatever they do is okay.
yeah, we'll let them go 80 over just for fun. No, nothing
Yeah.
like that. That's
Please, Mr. Please,
We'll be
please.
nonchalant about that.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, yes. Loading is one thing that I mentioned, we changed our minds a bit on, I believe, based on 2021. You'll notice that they've got a loading space marked here in the north southeast corner, and then up here by Big Rock. I don't think we noticed in 2021 that there was also one here, proposed here,
All the streets.
in the parking spaces adjacent to the building. What I'm suggesting to you is what I think we would do well to do, is to not require that one in parking spaces. If they use it, they use it, but I think the two that are on site currently, that are working just fine, that aren't full 24/7, are good enough to provide for this site. I think loading spaces is a broader conversation, but they're a little challenging anyways, and they've got, aside from that, those two dedicated spaces, plenty of space on site. So I'd like to avoid designating a loading area in the parking spaces.
Mr. Dupuy, just a quick question. I tend to agree with you. However, for the sake of making sure that we're thorough on this, if this had come forward as one development, would they be required under the ordinance just two? I guess where I'm going with this is I want to make sure that this board has the authority under the ordinance to say the two that are there are okay. And if we do, I want to make sure it's noted why we have that authority. And if we don't, I don't want to sit here and have this poor gentleman think he's got a site plan approval when he doesn't.
Yes, so generally speaking, I think uses in between 1 and 5,000 square feet just require one.
Okay.
So that's why I think that one got added, is because they felt like they needed to add it based on that requirement. I think there's enough room in the ordinance, I don't have it in front of me so I can't quote it, to consider one of those other two as the one for that site. And that's what I'm stating to you publicly, and that's what I believe.
Okay.
If we really wanted to, I bet you the team would just move it back here and call it good. And if they need to load there, they will. So for those reasons, I'm very comfortable keeping the two designated as they are.
And that it conforms to the ordinance.
Correct.
Okay.
But I'm happy to talk about it further, should anybody else have any questions.
Thank you.
Vehicular circulation is another minor update that I wanted to provide to you here, that I will ask when they come up, the applicant to describe a little further. As it is today, they've installed what's called a crash gate somewhere in this area. I would paraphrase it as, with the influx of traffic from the new restaurant, it's become a little unsafe back there for the residents, with frankly, kind of a steady stream of cars coming through there. So they've now added a crash gate, which crash gate meaning emergency vehicles can access it and all that stuff. It's just through traffic, could not get through from Villa to Eaton. From what I understand, they would be proposing to keep that crash gate. So that's what I would like, and I mentioned here that you might like to ask them a little bit more about. There is no zoning ordinance saying you can't have a crash gate. We are concerned with circulation, though, and safety.
Where is it?
So,
Yeah, Mr. Dupuy, I couldn't find this on the plans. Where are you referring to?
so it is not on the plans, which is what I mentioned here. Just another thing, this was just thrown on ice, so no updates have been made to it. Today, in this area here with my hand-ish, right, guys? Somewhere in there-ish?
A little bit to the left. I can't see it, still can't see it.
Oh, it's over here?
Oh, right there.
Okay. So it's right before you get to the parking structure.
It's look to your right, Robin.
What is it?
Right there.
Yeah.
So they have a good reason for it, for their own property, and they'll let you know why.
Safety.
But the rear of that building, that circulation area is supposed to be for the residents. So they're encouraging restaurant patrons to come in this way and then the garage that way. This way, sorry if you didn't see it right over here. Pedestrian circulation and access, that's all staying the same. There's plenty of sidewalks throughout the site, and sidewalks
Valet
between the
parking or
buildings.
not?
This great new little plaza
They
here,
require it.
that's currently just a mix of parking and other hard surface. No lighting's changing either. Another kind of unique part of our zoning ordinance, if you will, is that we do require minimum illumination levels in parking and through areas of 0.2 foot candles. Their photometric plans show zeros in some areas, so they're going to have to up their lighting game in those areas. It's a safety thing. That's another carryover from 2021. I did go through some of the departmental reports, the engineering department being the most full. They are, of course, they contemplated this being a thing, and most of those comments, aside from South Eaton from engineering, will likely be handled underground with no effect to the site. the end result, that being. Everything else was about the same. Design review, still brick, stone, metal concept. It's going to match their existing buildings. It's a carryover. So all very high quality. The glazing all meets the requirements, exceeds in some cases. And everything at the ground floor is pedestrian scale like we hope for in the next district. There is one thing I believe, no, yes, the 12-foot. We just want to verify that they meet the minimum ceiling heights. With that, we do recommend approval again, with 6 conditions this time, based on the discussions we've had today, and I'll kick it back to you. The applicant, of course, is here and ready to answer any questions. I'll pull up anything you need me to pull up.
Okay, thanks. Any questions, Mr. Dupuy, other than what we've already peppered him with? Mr. Scher?
The 2021 engineering report had a number of conditions. Were they incorporated in these new plans, or are they still, assuming they're still applicable, are they still conditions that will fall under the conform to the requirements of all city departments?
It's more so the latter, but they did change a little bit. I want to make sure you know that they changed, but Melissa felt good about most of them and incorporated them, but the plans have not been changed to reflect it.
Okay. See, the applicant is here. If you'd like to come forward and introduce yourself and briefly walk us through the project again real quickly.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, Alex Soroki, Soroki Architecture. I'm here also this evening with John Kelly, who is the owner and builder of the project. I just want to emphasize that this is the same team. We've been working on this campus for over 20 years, actually, and we're all very excited about this piece because it is really the final piece of the campus to complete it here. Nick is exactly correct that this is essentially the same application you saw and approved previously. What I'd like to do, if it's okay with everyone, is just touch on some of the changes that Nick brought up and sort of address our thoughts on those. So really, in my mind, the biggest change is the shift of the curb with the Eaton Road construction. And so the curb is going to move west 5 or 6 feet, and we're going to have some additional space in front of our building. Now that we don't need the streetscape elements and sidewalk directly up against our building, we plan to use that for more landscaping and green space, so more impervious surface.
More pervious. Sir.
Pervious, sorry, yes, pervious. We're reducing the impervious.
There you go.
And then Nick also mentioned the crash gate that was installed, within the last year or so as a result of Big Rock opening, and we were trying to control traffic through there. We are not proposing that is maintained as part of this new plan. It's not shown. And we think by the moves we're making in terms of narrowing the service drive in the back and changing the orientation of the service drive, and with the addition of this building, we can control the traffic.
Great.
And so we're not proposing that's part of the plan at this time.
Good.
Happy to, there's obviously the different departmental comments, of course, we'll comply with those. Happy to talk about some of the plant species. We're open to those suggestions. And of course, thank you for the consideration. Happy to answer any other questions you might have.
Mr. Williams.
So if you're eliminating the crash gate, what was the reason for it? You had traffic going in there, and why do you think it's not going to continue? I mean, you got people showing up at the restaurant and know where the hell they're going.
No, it's true. Well,
And it's not mandatory valet.
that's true. It's not mandatory
No,
valid.
I guess I have to say I'm concerned about residents sitting in that area, having a cup of coffee and have a car come right in on top of them. I mean, that's a safety issue, it seems to me. So I don't know what steps you're taking to prevent the cars from coming into that space.
I'm going to have John Kelly answer that, who is very familiar with that current
Okay.
operations.
Before we do that, can you just clarify, because I want to make sure we're all on the same page in the public at home. There is a vehicular drive between the parking structure and these other 3 buildings, correct?
Yes.
There is a
Yes.
vehicular access drive.
Yes.
So no one is going to be sitting out in the middle of that having coffee.
Oh, yeah.
So, but the cars are allowed back there,
Correct.
okay, right now?
That's correct.
Yeah.
And you're not changing that?
Correct.
Thank you. I just wanted to make sure we were all clear. This is not a pedestrian plaza in the entire area back there.
But the concern is, why did you put the crash gate up to begin with?
What-
Okay, that's a good question.
You know, I could counter, the concern is how did it get up there without anybody talking about traffic implications to
Yeah, I
either
know.
villa? So it's not on their plan, they're not proposing it. I'm actually, would rather than work with engineering on that to determine if
It's fine.
something was needed than
I'm
debate it
concerned about
here.
the safety issue.
I
That's all.
feel, I get you. Mr. Jeffers?
Are those brown things, Alex, are those speed tables?
Yeah, they're actually brick pavers, so
So not raised, though?
Yes,
They are raised?
that's correct.
All right. Good. So you got 4 of those, you got,
Okay.
that's true.
Five.
25 miles an hour, that takes out a Lamborghini's transmission.
Yeah, it's
No, I
it's your
hear you.
concern.
Did you want to hear more from Mr. Kelly on the operations?
yeah.
Okay. Mr. Kelly, if you could come forward, please.
Address the issue of safety in the area, I guess.
Mr. Williams, you'd like me to address that right now?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm John Kelly. Kelly Building is actually not the applicant. The applicant is the entity owner of the building, which is Birmingham Lofts, but I'm happy to answer it. I'd like to give you a little background before I answer the full question. So we have our business there. We manage the property there. A couple of my children actually live there, so safety is very important to me as well. The vehicular traffic that circumnavigates the site right now is actually very minor. The residents in the 2 buildings have what's very unique in town, parking underneath the buildings.
Is that basically access from the east?
It is accessed directly from the east where Nick is waving
Yeah.
his hand.
Yeah.
The traffic that enters the site and views the beautiful fountain that we have there is mostly traffic to visit my office and also Oppenheimer's guests.
Yes.
The reason I put up the gate, I refer to it as a green gate, not a crash gate, because it's very green.
Done this before, I think.
Was, was 2 reasons. One was I'm in a never-ending evolution of controlling the delivery trucks of Amazon and Grubhub and everything else. And the second was the overwhelming success that Big Rock is enjoying and people navigating themselves to Big Rock. We don't have any difficulties with speed because anybody in their right mind who enters the campus understands it's a very low passage campus. There's pedestrian walkways, there's a via between the 2 buildings, we have lots of walking people. It's circuitous, so there's no speed, but we wanted to control access. The first was the delivery trucks not exiting to impede the business. And the second was people trying to find Big Rock, okay? So we feel, that's the reason in the background. We feel with this design, and Mr. Jafari has correctly indicated what I don't like to call rumble strips, but traffic slow strips, that'll help. Frankly, if I could get rid of the road, I would, but I need it for fire access. So we have to have the road. So we've throttled it around with Alex's, beautiful design, and the rumble strips and the access to the garage, we feel we can manage your concern and my concern.
Okay.
Mr. Scher?
So I guess I'd like you to take a couple steps back and help me understand the site better than I understand it now. So you have a 262-space deck. The residents come in off Villa on the east. Who's using the deck?
The restaurant, the commercial uses, and the new residents of the new building.
Okay. And they drive, pardon me, all of those 3 groups drive into the deck where?
Yeah, it's not clear.
The restaurant, although is not mandated for valet, the valets are the only ones allowed to use the deck currently. We have self-park managed out front. The new residents in the new apartment building that we hope to build where the reserve is will have passes to enter the deck.
But where? This is what I'm,
The entrance to the deck will not change.
where is it? Okay, where is it?
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to get across.
Right there. If you pull up the new plan, I can show you.
Nick, can you pull up the new plan, please?
Okay, so they will be coming in off, well, presumably off Eden.
They'll largely be coming in off of Eaton.
And so they'll come in, I lost my orientation, but they'll go kind of in front of, in back, whatever you call it, of the new building to get access.
Yes.
Correct.
They're going to come in off of Eaton and move very slowly because it's a very tight area. They're going to turn very slowly and they're going to go into the parking garage. Right?
Okay. And then they come out just a little bit toward the railroad tracks there?
No, in and out's the same.
The same place, okay.
Same place. It's about 5 miles an hour.
And there's signage for the confused that takes them directly out to Eaton, or are they free to kind of wander through around that fountain?
Well, good question. They're free to turn out of the garage, as this plan indicates, left or right. But left is a lot more difficult than right. And if you think about the uses, the commercial use folks will be leaving as the bar patrons and the restaurant patrons are arriving. So there's an offset. But our expectation of the human behavior of the traffic will be that they will leave this way.
Yeah. I can only tell you that as a very occasional, I've been to the restaurant once, I found parking extremely confusing, and I felt like I was forced to use the valet.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not complaining necessarily, I'm just telling you that, as a first-time person coming in, and I assume if I was coming in to see the commercial businesses, I'd have the same confusion. So I found it confusing. I'm not sure that it's anything we have to fix, but you may want to think about that.
Thank you.
Mr. Boyle?
Comment, a praise, and then a couple of questions. I love the graphic you've put together, Alex. It's fantastic. Gives information, and in front of me is the plan and the numbers. But in there are a couple of numbers that threw me for a loop. Phase 3 building, 50 units total. 47 one-building units times 1,500 square feet. Suggests to the reader that you're building units. You're building 47 units of 1,500 square feet. In reality, you've brought to bear on us 47 units, which are very much smaller, because what you've done is you've incorporated the circulation, the passages, storage space, and the like. So the reader is thinking that we're getting 1,500 square foot units. The units, I don't know what the average is, but a lot of them are 692
About
square feet.
700,
Yeah.
is the typical unit,
Right.
one bedroom.
So, yeah, I'm not being overly clear. I'm just saying it's a little bit confusing to read it.
Can you point us to where you're reading, please?
Yeah. Okay.
It's
So
right
we're on
here.
the
Right
cover
there.
page?
Right there. Phase 3 building equals 50 units total, 47 one-bedroom units times 1,500 square feet equals 70,500 square feet. That ain't right.
You know what? Truthfully, it must have been, that's a good point. It must have been a carryover.
Yeah.
The units are smaller.
Okay. But anyway, that was simply a prelude to a conversation that I want to make. You said that nothing's changed in 4 years.
Correct.
I'd suggest that the housing market has changed in 4 years. And that's what I wanted to talk about. This is your building, and it's fantastic, and I love the area. I love walking around the back there. People look at me, what are you doing here? But I'm looking around because it's such a nice area. But these are small units. 692 square feet, gentlemen, is real small. Could you explain to us, John, why you've gone in that direction and why you're offering really just these single units? They're almost like a studio. Almost, but you have a separate bedroom. But there's only 3 two-bedroom units in the whole block.
That's the best question of the year.
It's only been 28 days, Robin. Don't get excited.
The bar is low.
Wow. Great business question, great insightful business question. And here's the answer. We studied the market beforehand, we've studied the market since. We want to deliver to the market affordable. Now, let's not run with that concept. It's Birmingham, and you require, such as it is. We have 2 examples that we've built before, one that's been sold as condos, but the Eaton building next door is 1,500 and 2,200 square feet, which is probably where those numbers came from. And those units are lovely. I built them, and they're wonderfully designed, and they're full all the time. And they cost $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, and $10,000 a month to rent. So my young children have no opportunity to exercise that. My friends' young children, the people that, graduate and work in their early jobs, have no hope of renting those or being in town. So this is the answer to that question. And the second part that's the answer to that formula. And the second part of that is we think that demand is still available to be serviced.
Follow up, these are for sale.
No. This is for rent.
These are rental.
Oh, these are rentals.
These are rentals.
I thought they were condos.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, sir.
Ooh.
These are rentals.
Take all my questions back. Apologies. Big apologies.
I nearly had a heart attack over here as we've spent the last 87 years on the master plan talking about affordable housing, small units, and here Mr. Boyle is saying, why are you giving us small units? I was about to throw my water cup at you.
I get that. He totally threw me for a loop with that because I thought
You handled it well. Thank you.
You're not the only one that's been thrown for a loop.
I have struggled with this for most of the day, staring at these plans and driving around. And
I think you were doing things in Costa Rica we don't know about.
You couldn't sell these, sir. Does not sell.
No.
Well, frankly,
good answer.
It's built, it's designed, and
Exactly what we want.
it's designed. I mean, let's be honest with each other, right? It's designed in a manner that you really couldn't convert it. I mean, you'd have to go through some pain to convert it. Whereas the other 2 buildings that we designed, again, masterfully done, were readily convertible for sale. 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,500 feet, and that's what we've done.
Yeah, true.
Yep.
So, are you happy with that answer?
Yeah, I'm much happier now that I learned that there. Can I take 1 minute of your time? So I did a little bit of research, and the question was, how many units below 800 square feet have been sold in Birmingham in the past year and a half? 14, believe it or not, 14. Some of them were tiny houses, but mainly it's Birmingham Place on Woodward. So I defeated myself earlier on this morning when I realized actually there are small units in Birmingham that are available for sale. So that's why I built up this question, because I thought, oh my God, they're going to bring 47 700 square foot units to the market, but you're not, you're renting them. So I back off. Thank you for the explanation.
And frankly, because of the size, the location, the amenity, and the rental rate that we'll be able to provide to the public, we think we're going to knock it out of the park.
Cool. I do too.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Any other questions for the applicant?
No.
No. I'll just say that was an excellent answer, and it's exactly what I wanted to hear. This is what this board has been working on for years, is to try and find, not everything, try and find the appropriate places for exactly this type of product.
We think this place.
You're going to go gangbusters as far as I'm concerned, and we've got property in the Triangle District that you should start looking at.
Well, I know.
But that's another discussion. Thank you.
Well, I know, because we helped start that. That's-
Thank you. To the public, is there anyone from the public that would care to comment on the proposal?
I'm not the public, I'm an intern, but I just wanted to know what you anticipate the rent being.
You know, we'll have to get to that when we get ready to market them. It's a little early for that. You know, we're watching commodities go up and down, so we think we're timing the construction at the right place, but we gotta, as you get close, it's about 9 months out, then you zero in on that, because that's when
Better hurry up,
the
because
rental
that
rates are
building
gonna-
that's proposed for Maple Woodward's got a
If
lot
you
of
study the area,
areas, too.
you know, we'll be on the more affordable side of things.
And Victor is doing that.
All right, anyone else from the public care to comment? Is anyone on Zoom? You can use the raise your hand functions. I don't see any hands going up. All right, we'll bring it back to the board. Board, I think we've had a kind of a conversation during the questions, so I don't know if anyone has anything else they'd wish to add, concerns they wish to express, motions they wish to make. Ms. Boyce? She beat you to it.
I beat you to it tonight, Brian. Okay.
It's all right.
Or Dan.
Taking over.
All right, here we go. I will move to adopt the findings of the Planning Department in the report dated January 28th, 2026, related to the approval criteria outlined in Article 7, Section 7.27 of the zoning ordinance, and approve the final site plan and design review application for 325 South Eaton Street, subject to the following conditions. One, that the applicant must work with the city to update their plans based on the new proposed design of Eaton Road and adjust their plans if necessary. Two, that the applicant must submit complete floor plans indicating the number of bedrooms for all units in order to verify the minimum lot area per unit requirement is met. Three, the applicant must submit a revised photometric plan indicating proper luminance levels for the circulation area and connecting the Phase 3 building to the parking structure. 4, the applicant must indicate the first floor height of 12 feet measured from the finished floor to finished ceiling in submitted building plans. 5, the applicant must provide dimensions of the electronic transformers to verify that they are properly screened. And 6, the applicant must comply with the requests of all city departments.
Motion, Ms. Boyce. Do we have a second?
Support.
Support, Mr. Scher. Conversation at the board? No. To the public one last time. Anybody from the public care to comment on the motion? Comment on the motion to approve. I see no hands going up. We'll bring it back to the board. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion unanimous. Congratulations. Good luck to you. We hope to see you in the ground soon.
Well, it's nonetheless for wear and tear 4 years later, so.
All right.
Get it built.
Let's move forward. Study session. Did you have any updates for us on the zoning ordinance project, Mr. Dupuy?
Only the things you all already know, that the city commission voted unanimously to select Housing Levine and enter into the contract. The things that have happened, that was on the 12th of January. We're just getting all the contracts and legal stuff sorted out. They just this week got a copy of their contract, which they needed to start their processes. So we'll know very quickly when and what we're starting on. So I know we've got a meeting coming up in February. We're not going to rush it, but that would be the target, should we be ready. Other than that, moving forward, it'll be a pretty regular agenda item.
I'd just like to quickly say, I was recused for this process. I wasn't just off, vacationing. I was recused. However, everything that I've looked into and saw how you handled it, Mr. Vice Chair, Mr. Williams did an excellent job. Mr. Dupuy, you and Leah's staff, everybody, fantastic job in this whole process. And the board, I think you did an excellent job in cutting to the quick here and putting together a great selection. So I give you all a lot of credit for that. 7-0 at the commission on something we recommend is not always the case when it comes to consultants, so well done. And I would just simply say, as I've said to you, Mr. Dupuy, let's get this right. You know, the public will certainly have rightful concerns about moving forward on such a big project, so let's make sure we get our ducks in a row, that we're starting off on the right foot, right communication, that we're being open and transparent and not rushing this just to say we got it started on, on February X, what have you. Okay? Mr. Williams?
Yeah, I think, I'd simply say from our standpoint, the best part of the process, I thought, was that all of the planning board members got to express their views, really all the way through. And I called on people to express their views. I didn't. Nobody got a pass because it was that important. Secondly, I think that one of the key features of Hussail Levine is the public participation aspect. That was important to the commission. It certainly is important to us. It was important to the city. And the one thing I would say is that I asked Nick, and he delivered, and that is to get the city administration to put their input into the selection process, and he did. And so we're in sync starting. I think the biggest challenge to me going forward is how do you get the public engaged in a zoning change? I mean, we have a hard enough time on a lot of issues, and that is potentially, to a lot of people, pretty boring stuff, even though they're, until they want to build something. Then it's not so boring. And I think Janelle understands better than any of us, frankly, the importance of clarity of language and in dealing with it. So that'll be our challenge, getting the public involved. I think they're pretty ambitious. Hussail Levine is pretty ambitious in this, but it's going to require us to really dig in. That's the most, and to me, that's the most important thing.
Yeah. All right, good job. Let's move forward. You had a pre-application discussion. I do not see an applicant, but
Which is a little awkward, and it's going to be your appetite whether or not you want to provide me the feedback and I just relay it, which I'm plenty comfortable doing, or if you'd rather wait, I can ask them to come back next time.
I have feedback.
I mean, I've got
If
feedback.
you're prepared, I'm prepared, so let's do the damn thing. But
Let's at least talk about it. We don't, maybe don't have to go soup to nuts, but we can
yeah,
go.
yeah, great. I mean, this is recorded, so I can share this with them, no problem. It's simple. TUDA was moved forward by the City Commission in October, technically November, to pursue a bistro license. You remember them back August or so, I think I said?
We wanted to be in the street.
With the
Parking
platform.
space, yeah.
In front of
They heard loud and clear from the commission that they also think a platform is not happening.
Correct.
So, they're cranking it up. They're going to plan to bump the storefront back to provide their outdoor dining. Now, they did also add a little bit of two tops out on the sidewalk as well, which
Not gonna happen.
I already relayed to them that that's going to be a challenge.
Agree with that?
I think the only reason they want that out there is Philip, the owner of TUDA, just wants that visibility, so he thinks being out on the sidewalk, but I've relayed to them that that's going to be the challenging part. Everything else, technically speaking, looks pretty good. So before they take the deep dive and submit the $4,000 SLUP app and come here for their reviews, they just wanted some feedback from you based on the plans they submitted here, which are quite good, quite detailed, what you thought, any concerns, any red flags, green flags too, not all bad, and that's that.
Fantastic. All right. Who wants to start? We'll start here with Ms. Boyce and move down.
All right, I have a few notes. First of all, really cool. I think they came up with a great plan. Sweet, like it. I personally have no concerns with them having some dining on the sidewalk. I know we don't always agree on this here, but since I went there first, there are a couple things that I noticed in the section drawing, if you want to pull that up, that were not well described. I don't know what they are exactly, and they'll probably need to, sorry, let me just find it here. Where'd it go?
Furnishing zone.
What they're asking.
The first thing is, I'll start from the street, moving forward.
Are you on page 72? Is that what you mean by section drawings?
72, yeah.
Okay.
Exactly, like on the top of that
right.
page, yeah.
Top right?
So make sure we know what this,
Furnishing zone.
sorry, what's this thing called? This little, like, canopy thing is that
Yes.
is like a folding umbrella thing, presumably, that is, how do they call it? A folding canopy, it's called out as. You see it on the street right there? Just let's make sure we know what that is.
Oh, it's like a butterfly canopy like Ely's
Yeah, I
has,
think so, but it
where
looks real little.
It's
and-
retractable where it comes out? Yes.
So anyway, just, I mean, as far as
Okay.
what
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is and
Specs
how
and all
low
that,
it is and how
examples.
far it spans.
You want me to say it?
Okay.
So,
You want to say it?
what, are you?
No, please, go ahead.
Oh.
I apologize.
Okay. Okay, then the next thing I want to point out in the section is, this one here, the section on the left. These new sliding safety glass panels, potentially, you can see them in plan as well. And they're from the round four tops in the sort of corridor, I guess.
Yeah.
So what are these? How are these working? They can't possibly be motion activated or anything like that. They're going to be chairs right up against them. What are they? What's the plan?
Okay.
Add to this, then back to the section again, there appear to be some weather protection recessed blinds that come down, which I'm pretty sure I'm not going to like. Because I think what they'll do is they come down and they close the storefront, and it's an
Yeah.
opaque storefront. I mean, these tables are already covered. They're underneath the store. There's no, I mean, unless you get a driving rain that's blowing in sideways, I mean, and I don't expect patrons
Yeah.
will be out there in that case.
I'm with you 100% on that.
So-
I noticed that at first.
Yeah, so let's lose those, because all that's going to do is just block them off from the street.
Agree.
Okay, I just have a couple more. I'm concerned about the movable planters that are proposed to rest on the new stone cap wall that kind of arches around. You can see it in Plan Best, I think.
Yeah, these here?
Yeah, and I think it looks cool, but I think they need a more fixed solution, because we know any movable planters end up being moved. And so somebody's going to back up their chair into that rosemary, it's going to be on the ground, or I don't know, or, just something like that.
So you're afraid of them knocking off and falling onto the sidewalk?
I am.
Okay.
I'm afraid of
Wanna-
that, and then even if they don't fall off and get broken, they often get moved around and displaced, and they don't look like they did when
Supposed to.
they were put in front of us.
Dies and they take it out.
I love the greenery, it looks cool, but just how are
Yeah,
they
the
going to be
herb
stuck there?
concept is cool. That
Yeah,
sounds
the
good.
herb concept's super cool. How are they gonna be there?
Okay.
And, okay, and then the dining, the 3, 4 tops and the 3 top that are on the left and right in the new proposed within the building, it's really packed in here. So, I'm not the server, so I guess I don't care so much, but what I want to be sure doesn't happen, because there's a couple restaurants around here that happens at all the time, is the servers end up serving from the sidewalk.
Yep.
And because they can't get through these tight tables either. So they walk
Yes.
through and around, and then they're blocking the sidewalks, and then you can't get through if you're just walking down the sidewalk. So it just becomes really congested. So I think, I'm not going to design it for them, but I think maybe those 3 tops need to go so that they can spread out the 3, 4 tops more
Another
appropriately or
item I agree with
something.
you 100%.
Okay, so that's all. Those are my things that I noticed that I think we need a little more explanation.
Fantastic.
And-
That was a good list.
Okay, Thank you.
Mr. Boyle?
Quick question for you, Nick. Did they explain why they wanted the sidewalk tables? There are so few of them. I mean, they've got a lot of space. Space is not their issue.
Yeah.
What are they, is this to advertise, to sort of promote what they've got? And I actually think it maybe takes away from this wonderful idea they've got for building a sort of a indoor-outdoor lobby with
Yeah.
tables, which I think is super cool. But I don't see the purpose on the sidewalk.
It is just visibility. He thinks that, and that was part of the reason why he wanted the platform, is just to draw eyes and draw attention to the activity over there, which he feels he also wants coming from the sidewalk. And that's my version, my retelling of what I've been told. So
Okay.
please feel free to ask him if it should come.
Fair enough. Just trying
Anything else?
to read it.
Go ahead.
So I'll jump in. I think Ms. Boyce had some great points. I don't understand the need, or nor do I really want those safety walls. And there's certainly not going to be any curtains or isinglass or anything like
Safety
that.
walls, yeah.
If they're having outdoor seating, this is outdoor seating. And they've got the benefit of it's got a roof.
Yeah.
Just like Dicko Dow's and whatnot.
Phenomenal.
It's phenomenal. I love it. Her other points are very well taken. I think they should be looked at, with the exception of the two tops, or I guess this plan shows four tops, whatever. The tables on the actual street have got to go.
Furnishing zone.
This is precisely what I fought about when we were doing outdoor dining. There's a 5-foot space, and Ms. Boyce picked up on it. You're going to have a waiter leaning over those herbs into the 3-top they can't get to, and another waiter in the sidewalk leaning over to those 2-tops to serve them, and someone with a wheelchair or someone pushing a stroller, or just an old person like me walking down the street is going to have nowhere to go. It's only a 5-feet space. So no, they don't get them, as far as I'm concerned. The rest of the project is super cool.
We don't want them in the furnishing zone, period.
We don't want them on both sides like this, constricting things the way they are. So to me, that's an absolute dead stop, not voting for it. Personal. That's just my personal take.
Okay, yeah.
Everything else I love about it, notwithstanding those couple comments that I agree with Ms. Boyce on.
Great.
Any other comments over Mr. Chair?
Yeah, I mean, I echo, I'm very troubled by the sidewalk tables, and I just point out that if I'm reading this right, there's a canvas awning that stretches half of the 5 foot. So by the time you add the visual restriction of the awning, which was a problem we had in North Old Woodward,
Right.
and you have this, and it also looks like there's no retention on the inside of the 2-tops, so they're going to move into the sidewalk. It's just, for me, I cannot imagine, anything that would, any change that would cause me to say that's okay.
Mr. Jeffries?
I guess as long as we're weighing in on these couple different things. To me, I've never, if I had to add up all the time, I've had to wait for a waiter or, got caught in a traffic jam behind somebody at Townhouse who had to go from the kitchen to going around to deliver 100% of their food. It's not a big deal. So those don't bother me. That's why I live here. I kind of like it when you get a little bit, and you kind of you get to see people. And, somebody slows down for a second or whatever. It's not a big deal. We don't have a problem with that. I mean, if we're discussing that at that level, then that's pretty good, right? That's pretty minor stuff. So personally, if they think that's important to them, I think it's so little. I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with having the tables in there if they served over to the side. When we try to legislate this to death sometimes, like on these loading docks, almost every single restaurant uses the center lane, no matter what we do. So, we can try to do it, but I think it would work fine, and if it helps them. So, anyway, but I do agree, we got to really be careful on anything that comes down. Those 8 tables are covered, they're outside, they got some defined areas, but there's nothing that comes down. And I thought we had when we did the outdoor dining, we had something with windbreaks and heights and all that, right? So, anyhow, yeah, I would, that's, don't even get on the slope to make it slippery.
Yep. For what it's worth, the city commission, I think, generally is uncomfortable with the sidewalk seats as well. They didn't see this, though, is an important caveat, but it sounds like, frankly, you guys are pretty split, so they'll come with what they think they want and need, and then we'll talk about it.
This was just for feedback, right?
Right.
Yep.
Anyone from the public care to comment? If you're from the public and wish to comment, if you're at home, use the raise your hand function.
Anybody that was not
Bring-
typical has left.
We will bring it back to the board. All right, I think you've heard some opinions.
Yep, that was helpful.
All right. Moving on, project updates. List is getting smaller, which I suppose is good. Are there any questions?
So we need to change in the suggested agenda if we're going to have 2 study sessions in February, when we get to it.
Yeah, so before that, I see something on here, meeting times and new agenda software.
Yes, I need to have a quick conversation with you all about 2 things. First, meeting times, which I think is just a simple question. You may know that the city commission moved to bump their meeting times up to 7. They just felt like they were getting a little late, and they thought that little shift might help.
But they're going to like midnight a lot, right? So-
Not anymore, but definitely, definitely.
But they go
late.
much later than us.
Yes, typically, yes. I thought it might be worthwhile, because just generally speaking, way up here, consistent meeting times at the city sounds better than 7:30 here, 7:15 there. Any interest at all about shifting to 7? Not going to hold you to anything. Or maybe I'll pose the question tonight and you think about it. I wouldn't change it until next year
I don't
anyways.
care.
The printed calendars are printed. It's not going to change until January 2027. I just wanted to ask you while I was thinking about it. It just feels good. I'd like to try to line up all my boards at the same time, if possible.
It
So,
doesn't matter to me.
if there was any big heartache, I would just abandon it.
Doesn't matter.
But
I don't care.
I don't care.
You care? I don't care.
Half of us have been coming for like 20 years at 7:30 though, so expect.
I know, this is gonna be
late show
difficult,
up.
but-
Half an hour late every meeting?
You know, in all seriousness, as we, just one devil's advocate question, as we move forward, Janelle, you just raised a point. Many of us have been on this board 15, 20, more years.
Why are you looking at me?
I've counted myself, I've been here 15.
Robin,
So,
how many years?
22.
22.
I don't mean to be overly looking ahead. However, there's going to be a time in the next couple of years here where there's going to be some turnover, some of which will potentially require, we must have a building owner, we must have an architect, we must have an engineer, I think, what have you. Is moving this to 7 o'clock going to make it more difficult for professionals who may wish to volunteer? I can tell you that if I was in the thick of working, 7 o'clock would have given me pause about actually getting here, seeing my family, having some food, and
every minute counts.
I don't know.
When I
So I throw that out.
We started, we were downtown.
Yeah,
Good
I
point.
agree with you.
Good
Same.
point. Good
Okay.
point.
Still downtown.
All fair. It was just a question.
Something to think about. I don't know. If we have time, we can consider it, but I just.
Robin was at Wayne.
Okay.
Lots of time.
Yeah, I was downtown as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Good feedback.
Yeah.
The new agenda software. The city commission has fully transitioned. It's a Civic Plus program. They build all their agendas in this new software, generate all the packets in this new software. There's a public side, there's an internal side, and there will be a board and committee side. We're all going to have to transition at some point. I wanted to tell you that I plan to do that by June. We're not being forced to rush it, and I don't plan to force you to rush it. It'll be a little bit of a change at first, but once you get used to it, so easy. The idea is to we already go digital, but the city commission used to have a lot of printed packets. A lot of the comments were about note-taking. This program has great note-taking. You can well, some of us. So I wanted to warn you that that's going to be coming. We'll prep accordingly, but
Does it have a good interface for, like, I always do mine on a tablet and then write in Adobe. Does this have that kind of capability, or is it more of a PC-based, or?
I would expect it to, but I don't know that I can answer you with confidence because I haven't tried it.
Might be interesting to give us a little, presentation or rundown or some point,
Maybe I
tutorial.
can make the clerks come.
Yeah.
You've never met the clerks here, so.
All right.
I'd also, if you're asking us to take notes in there, I'd also be curious, a rundown on what that means for open meetings and FOIA.
Yeah, is that
as
public?
well.
Sure.
Just so we
Your
know.
notes become
I mean,
public information?
You can't write your mean things about me in the margins.
No doodles.
So that's the whole point.
Dirty pictures.
That's.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's coming.
Dangerous.
Yes.
Nick, did I lose it? I didn't get an email from you telling us that the agenda was available.
That's because I forgot to send it.
Got it.
Yeah. It was a busy Friday and Saturday. I was here Saturday as well.
Sure.
Okay.
That was it. That was it on that.
Okay.
All right. Agendas for the upcoming meetings. Right now, they don't have anything on them outside of more updates for the zoning project. Nick, do you think you're going to have any site plans?
I do not. And if I may put on my forward-thinking hat, honestly, right now, if you asked me today, I'd lean cancel February 11th.
Okay.
It
Makes
just doesn't feel
sense.
like enough time. We'd have a week.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's too soon. And
The
if that's
second meeting,
case,
though, is site plans, right?
There'd be site plans, but just,
So
just
we have
consider-
to-
We could cancel that too and start in March. So
I wouldn't.
it just depends on how.
Well, why don't we do this? If the board's amenable, why don't we go ahead and make, if you're amenable, a motion that the February 28th meeting,
25th.
25th, pardon me, change the rules of procedure to allow it to be a hybrid meeting.
Yeah.
Great.
That
I'll
way,
make-
we've got flexibility.
I'll make the motion that February 25th be a hybrid meeting to include both site plan and study session.
Motion, Mr. Williams, do we have a second?
Second.
Second, Ms. Boyce. Conversation? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Excellent.
And I don't see any reason that why we would meet on February 11th.
As of right now, I don't either.
Me either.
And like I said to you, let's not just cancel meetings to cancel them, but at the same token, we've got nothing to discuss. Let's not waste anybody's time or,
Yeah.
rile up the public for no reason.
And it's worth mentioning, I forgot to mention, the spring has a bunch of holidays dotted through, so the first meeting in March we actually don't have. Because it's holy holiday.
So I think the second February meeting, or the only February meeting.
Yeah.
We got to get going on the zone.
Yeah, we'll target that. That
In
should be
some
fun.
fashion. And,
Okay.
I don't know if they need to fly in for it. Maybe they could participate by Zoom.
Yeah, we'll see.
So just for record keeping, you're saying March 11th is not a meeting?
I'm getting you guys confused. I apologize. Never mind. That's the Historic District Commission that's canceled. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, okay.
One of those meetings is canceled, though.
But March, we meet both
Yes.
the 11th
thank
and the
you.
25th?
Yeah, I don't think we have any holidays for
Yep,
us.
yep. It's April that gets real messy.
April is different.
Yeah,
April, the sun will shine, so we look forward to that.
happy to that.
All right, well, Mr. Dupuy, I think we're going to say we're going to cancel the February 11th meeting.
Yeah,
Yeah, yep.
all right,
And then we'll move on from there and make a decision as we move forward.
all right.
Okay.
So is that official?
Yes.
Yeah, February
Yeah.
11th is canceled. Wouldn't be, it'd be just,
Did we vote on
wouldn't
your
be site
motion?
plans anyway, just be
Right.
study session.
Did we vote on your motion? I'm losing my memory here.
No, I did the
No, you
motion.
don't really need to.
You approved it.
You voted.
All right, good.
All right.
Why did I
My
vote?
recollection is you
How did I vote?
Anything else?
Yes. Although the action list you see in there is still labeled 2025 and all the same, I do need to start getting the 2026 action list together for our annual reporting that's due at the end of March. I know what we've got going on, the big zoning ordinance project. Again, way up here, I don't need to know which project. Do you intend to ask us to do anything alongside the zoning ordinance work that we're doing? I'm making this up, so this is not what I mean, but
No.
do you want to do the Woodward Safety and Beautification Plan alongside it, or anything else, or should we just concentrate on the zoning ordinance and maybe the random thing that gets directed to us?
Yes,
I think we concentrate on zoning. Does the board agree?
yes.
Okay.
Because there are going to be offshoots to this that we don't anticipate that might require us to kind of get into
Yeah.
parking or get into this or get into that. And
Exactly.
that could be an extra meeting that we just didn't anticipate, so.
Yes.
Just kidding.
No, I can't, I hear you. I mean, it's an example.
We are working on master plan things at other boards, so it's not like the master plan is just going to gather dust for a year. But that sounds like music to my ears. That's what I was hoping, so that's what I'll plan. And it's just an action list. Things can change, but.
Okay. What I would suggest is anything that those other boards are doing master plan related, you know, it would not be a bad idea to keep just this board every now and again update on
Yeah.
what they're working on. Not that we have to be involved, but
Can you
Yeah.
I'd like to
give
know.
us for February what the essence of the historic plan that was approved?
That's a great idea. I'd like to furnish you a copy
That'd be
of
a great
that
idea.
in general. It's,
Yeah.
just getting
So we see it.
finishing touches, and that's a great idea, yeah.
Yeah.
okay. Anything else?
Nope.
Meeting adjourned.